Yeah. I mean, I think that's to me personally, it's the responsibility of the coach to see where they're at, right?
Yeah.
If I was a coach, I mean, you got to work yourself up. You can't just go straight to a purple belt just because you came from wrestling.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, talking about the black belt thing is you have to understand all the things, right? You got to understand the positions, what's dominant, what works, what you should be looking for, all that, all that stuff that comes with jiu-jitsu. So that's great that she won. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about that? So I agree, right? It's like, yeah, of course. She's been training for like weeks. So yeah, for coach thinks that she's proficient to be a blue belt because, she has obviously a very distinct advantage starting from the feet. But that's not the sport.
Right.
Right. If this was a pure wrestling match, yeah, of course. It doesn't make sense for her to start into, the beginner intermediate. Right.
Right.
But because it's a whole different sport, she should. Well, the reason why I even brought that up is because there were a lot of controversy and feedback of like, how is she a blue belt and why would they allow that type of thing? Which again, I think is silly.
Yeah.
But it is the reality of what's going on. But it's interesting when you heard her in her like kind of post interview.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about how she is really enjoying jiu-jitsu because she's learning a new skill. And she's like, man, in any situation, like I could get choked and someone could grab my arm or someone grab my leg or someone grab my ankle or, someone can, put a submission hold on me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, it's just fun kind of learning that stuff. So it's like, it's super interesting, right? Because you're like, yeah, it's a whole different sport, but the evolution of that is entirely different, right? Like that is the opposite of inertia.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, not only is inertia, she would stay complacent. Like she would just, okay, I'm going to go now. So I'm just going to kind of hang back. Like, no, she continued to evolve as in the wrestling circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Now unable to participate. So she's like, hey, I just want to keep going. So I'm going to go and do this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
My doctor said it's cool. So I'm going to go do this jiu-jitsu thing, which again is just mind blowing, dude. Because you start thinking of, again, back to that whole statement, right? Of the 50-year-old purple belt or the 50-year-old black belt lady getting awarded, who gets smashed by a teenager. It's like, okay, well, if the measurement is you can't get smashed, like you're going to run into Helen in some bracket because you're in this open division and she's going to roll up everybody.
Right.
Right. And it's like, okay, hey, well, does that take away from the black belt?
Right.